Hi, welcome to another episode of the Founders Circle podcast. I'm Denise. I'm so happy to have you here. And today we're going to touch on a subject that I don't think we hear enough about, and that is what happens when founders burn out. And I'm not just talking about mentally, but I'm also talking about physically. For the past 16 weeks, I have been on, I would say, a health journey. 16 weeks ago, I traveled to Colorado with my family. I went on a very long hike with a very heavy backpack, and I think that just did it for me. 2 days later, I could not move. I did not know what was wrong. I just figured it was some back pain, and I would be fine within a couple of days after taking some medication. That was not the case. I had to visit the ER while in Colorado because I knew there was no way I was getting on a plane for almost 5 hours back to Miami without any strong medication. And so that's exactly what I did with the intention of coming back home and figuring out what the heck is wrong with my back and why couldn't I move because of so much pain. And so I did just that. I got back to Miami. I went to the ER again. They ran some tests. It was not conclusive. They knew that there was some compression of my nerves and some disc herniation, but they didn't really say exactly what it was. In the meantime, I went and visited a pain management physician based upon the recommendation of the ER. And he suggested that I get an MRI to make sure that we knew exactly what was wrong. And so I did just that. I got an MRI because the pain was not going away. I Just to explain what the pain actually felt like. I had pain on my right side that would travel down all my arm. Two of my fingers were numb, and the only way I can possibly describe the pain is if somebody was shooting fire down my whole arm and I could not stop it. So I knew this was not normal. I just didn't know exactly what it was. And so what the MRI revealed is that I have disc herniations from C5 to C7. I have cervical stenosis, which is the compressing of my actual canal. And that is causing the nerve compression that affects my whole arm. And so I am not the type of person that just sits around and lets pain sort of take control of my life. I knew I had to start figuring out exactly what to do, what I needed to change, and go from there. And so I want to discuss a little bit about what I have actually done up until this point, and then what I plan on doing in the future. So I want to start with what I've done. Like I said, I have been seeing a pain management physician or an anesthesiologist. I did receive, after having done the MRI, I did receive corticosteroid injections in my neck to bring the inflammation down and see if that would reduce the pain. I have felt relief up until this point with that injection, in addition to anti-inflammatory oral medication. While I have been going through this process, I have also been seeing a physical therapist, which I think has been one of the best things I could have done. They massage, they show me different techniques for stretching that would improve my mobility and help with the pain that I am experiencing. I have also, in the meantime, I have seen a neurosurgeon based on the recommendation of the anesthesiologist that did my injections. His suggestion is surgery. And without making a determination as to whether if I want to go down that route, I am also getting a second opinion from another neurosurgeon. And then now that brings me to what I want to do in the future. I obviously, like I said, want to get a second opinion before I even go down the rabbit hole that is surgery. I'm going to continue doing other non traditional techniques to see if those are helpful to my journey. These are the things that I have implemented or have done within the traditional medicine realm. Now, what are things that I have changed and implemented in what I would consider total wellness? And that is my food intake. I think that food is something and nutrition is something that we can actually control. And so I've been focusing on eating anti inflammatory, trying to reduce all sugar or processed sugar, I should say. I have also done acupuncture to see if that is helpful. I have not had great success with it, but I think it just depends on the person. I have also implemented red light therapy, specifically targeting my back to see if that is helpful. I have continued to move my body to the extent that I possibly can, meaning I go for walks to the point that I don't feel pain or I'm not aggravating the pain. I have implemented light to no weight or just focusing on body weight exercises to continue to move my body for stress relief, for my mental health. That's basically everything else that I have implemented in terms of my wellness that I hope is helpful or has been helpful to my healing journey. Something I also realized was that I needed to make some changes to my physical space to ensure that I wasn't aggravating my neck. And what I did was I purchased a standing desk for my office because I already had one for my home office. And so I try to do as much of my work as possible while I'm standing because for some reason, when I'm sitting, that aggravates my pain even more. And I think it has to do with the compression on my spine of sitting down for too long. I have also I have purchased multiple ice packs because for me, ice is more beneficial than heat. And so I have ice packs in my office, I have ice packs at home. I think I am contributing to the maintenance of this industry, all types of ice packs because that's the only thing that gives me relief when I'm in a lot of pain. I have purchased a reclining chair for my office in order to be able to put my ice packs because laying flat seems to do the most to alleviate my pain. So you might be wondering, Denisa, why are we talking about this? This is supposed to be a business focused podcast, and yet we're here talking about a health journey. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I want to demystify the whole process of being an entrepreneur. And a part of that is also realizing that we are human. We won't always have it figured out. We will have to pivot. We will have to make changes. We will have to learn from our experiences to continue to grow. And so I have done just that. I have had a lot of time to think about why is this happening to me? And I have realized that I'm thinking about it and going about it the wrong way. I know that this is happening for me. I still haven't quite figured out all the answers as to why it is happening for me, but here are the thoughts that I've had throughout this process. I need to be able to understand when I need to slow down and focus on prioritizing my health. I also need to give my body grace. So many hours have gone into how can I be better? How can I exercise more? How can I eat healthier? How can I look better? When I should have been focusing on all the things that my body does do for me. I have birthed 4 children, thankfully, very uneventful pregnancies in the sense of health wise. I really did not have any complications that affected my journey. I also get to walk. I get to, move my body to whatever that is. Sometimes now, unfortunately, it's really just walking, but I can move. And so I need to give my body grace. I also have learned that not every single day is going to be a great day. And I need to be able to control my mindset around that. And knowing that it's not going to be perfect, I might have to make some changes to my daily routines, and that's okay. We're all humans. Behind every business, well, hopefully that remains the case. I know AI is becoming a thing for the business world, but the reality is there are a lot of humans behind a business, and we are not perfect. We have problems. We have things that we need to overcome. And that's going to be the case every single day, every single month, every single year. And it's how we think about these problems that can greatly affect how we move forward and become better entrepreneurs and find solutions for these problems that people are having because that's the end goal, right? To do something to benefit society, to benefit other people. So, I hope this journey or this health journey conversation was helpful to you. If you have any suggestions for me, I would be so grateful to receive them. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you for following along. This was probably the first of many others to come.